Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp and Chance. I'm your host, Bobby Sampson, joined with me as always as we get into the late spring and what is it, almost summer, man. Mr.
Almost.
Chance Michaels. Chance, how are you, buddy?
Doing good yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. It is spring, but it does feel like summer, man. I'm
Oh,
loving
it's
it.
beautiful. High
I,
20s every day.
no doubt, no doubt. And the only thing that I find most challenging about this weather is the weekends when some of these cards that are coming up are so bloody good. How do you convince the family that you need to stay home and not go outside?
I know that's the trouble, right?
That's the trouble with the summer events, man. Winter, no problem.
Yeah.
But speaking of events, we got, well, let's just focus on one today. Let's
Yep.
focus on Night of Champions. That's coming down this Saturday. Quick turnaround from Puerto Rico. Night of Champions coming from
Yeah, I think it's
Jeddah.
a little too quick to be honest.
Well, they've done this in the past. I mean, they're known
Yeah.
to have the quick 3 month or three week turnaround, and then you get the WrestleMania style where it's almost 2 months of a build up. So it all ebbs and flows, right? But I mean, they've pulled it off, I guess, in the past, and there's some matches that haven't been announced yet, but the storytelling is kind of in place for some of it.
No, Night
But
of
yeah,
Champions is not this Saturday, it's next Saturday.
the 20,
27th.
oh, sorry,
Yeah,
pardon me.
yeah, yeah.
Pardon me. Well, why don't we look at the card anyway, since we're already talking
Yeah, let's
about it,
break it
and we
down.
can kind of go into it a little bit here to see what we have. I was kind of confused too, because I'm thinking, shit, this is like a
That
pay-per-view.
was to be way too quick. That'd be only two
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah, yeah. Pardon
Three
me,
weeks. Yeah.
pardon me, guys. Pardon me. Even the great Samson makes a mistake from time to time. All right. Well, let's just look at the first ones here. Brock versus Cody. I'm kind of curious to see. You know what? At this stage, anyways, I mean, we still have a week of build up to go and everything, and Brock will be in the vicinity next week for Raw. I almost feel that Brock wins this match. I just feel that you got to give him the win. It's just like Cody can't keep winning, and just like how many more times is Brock going to keep losing here before he starts to lose that luster? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you, but I think Cody's going to win it. I don't know how he's going to do it. Cheap shot him again, get a quick win, and be like, "This is the build up to Cody versus Seth, probably at the new Raw belt." I think so. I think Cody's going to get over. I don't know how he does it, but it'll be a crazy finish, almost like last time at Backlash.
Yeah, yeah. Just like I don't know. I mean,
I
the,
want
the
Brock to win, but that's how I see
yeah,
it.
the chair shot or doing something illegal
Something
isn't
like
really
that.
in his wheelhouse. I mean, the way they got it done that time was with the exposed turnbuckle and Brock doing himself in and with the Kimura pin. So
They could
that was
always send
smart.
outside interference in and start a new battle with Brock. Whoever interferes against Brock to lose, then this is a new dancing partner. So I don't know. I just don't think Brock's going to win.
How many times have you ever seen a face come down to attack a heel to start a feud?
Not much.
Hmm.
But you never know in wrestling. Do they do so many things that doesn't make any sense anymore? So I don't know.
Right on, right on.
I
Uh
just either way, I see Cody taking this one.
yeah, yeah. Okay, well that's potentially something we can both agree on here. I just don't know how it's gonna happen, but
Yeah,
it just doesn't, I'm not sure. Let's talk about this one. Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, the inaugural world title here, the new one. Do you know that Seth is setting a record here by participating in this match?
no, what's the record?
In the 60-year history of the WWF, WWF, and WWE, he is the only person to compete for the inaugural NXT title, the inaugural Universal, and now this one. So he's the first person to ever compete for three new titles in one kind of run. For what it's worth, I don't know. I have to start to throw it out there. I thought it was kind of cool. Chance, you froze. But you're
No, I'm still
back.
here.
Are you
Yeah,
still
I'm right
here?
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I was saying, Seth is going to be competing in this match, being the only person to ever compete in two other inaugural matches, the NXT title and that of the Universal title. He competed in those inaugural for to crown the first champion.
I thought you were going to say Seth is setting a record for one of the men to wear some of the most goofiest outfits ever in history, but that one I didn't know what that one, so I wasn't
Well,
sure where
I
you're going with.
mean, his costumes are his costumes. I think I'm so used to them now. They don't even phase me. I think after the clown shoes, I kind of gave up.
Yeah, it's like sometimes it looks cool, it's different, but sometimes it's utterly ridiculous.
No, some of that
But
puffy stuff he does, I'm not sure
yeah,
about the big puffy stuff in the clown shoes,
well,
but
I think yeah, I think him and Becky are sharing clothes sometimes.
they must be, man. I mean, well, I think Becky is smaller, but I'm sure they have the same tailor Steamstress, whatever they
They
have.
have the same taste in clothes. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Going to be a good match, though.
Well, I think this is how it's going to go down. The match is going to be awesome. This could be
Mm-hmm.
the match of the night, in my opinion. I mean, when you have those two
Could be.
caliber guys, I mean, guys that tend to have to carry the other guy usually have the best matches, right? I mean, here are two guys that carry everyone. And just to see these two guys to work again, I think it's going to be a great match. I feel Seth is going to walk away with it though.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
That's
Seth
will
is
win.
going to be the inaugural champion there, and I think that opens the door for AJ to be the feud for Roman over on the SmackDown side. I think AJ has one more run in him, and I think this is going to be the start of that run. Not to say that he's going to win the title or anything. I don't think Roman is going to lose the title. I
Not
don't
the age.
even, dude, I don't even think he's gonna lose it to anyone, even up into WrestleMania 40. He's gonna be champion past 40.
Could be.
I have a feeling because right now he sits number 6 on the all-time list of world champions, right? And he'll pass Pedro, but if he goes on to keeping the title, he has the potential of passing Hogan, who's sitting at like 1400 in some days.
And they always want to set new records in wrestling, so I can see that happening.
Yeah, well, potentially this could be that reign, right? So I mean, let's see
Maybe
what.
the least popular, longest reigning champion of all time would be Roman Reigns. He's definitely not as popular as Hogan and Cena and all those guys. That's for sure. He's got his following, but he's not like he's not selling out the arenas. You're going because of the name WWE. It's not just to see Roman. Where before you go, I want to see Hogan, or I want to see John Cena. He's not. He's not on that level. He's
Well,
great, but he's just not on that level of popularity.
they're
I
trying to
mean, you go
sell.
into a WWE event, you see what 100, 200 people wearing Roman Reigns shirts, if that.
Well, I mean, they're
You
they're
know,
trying to sell them as such, right? So that's just kind of what they're doing with it and what have you. Um, you
you're
know,
a level.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, they like I was saying, they're just trying to sell it like that. We just kind of have to go with it and see where they're gonna go. I mean,
No,
I
no,
I'm
I
kind
get
of
why they're doing it. I'm just saying,
yeah,
he's
yeah, 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 yeah. No, no, I'm
Reigns
not
is not selling a
disagreeing.
lot of tickets,
Well, he's not selling
right?
much, man, right? I mean,
No,
that brings me to this point. Like when I look at Roman Reigns and the reign that he's had, I'm curious, and I don't have these numbers in front of me, and I'll look them up, and I'll try to bring them up on the next episode here. But I'm curious to see how many times, yes, wrestling scripted, yes, we know what it is, but I'm curious to see how many times Bruno defended the title in that reign, how many times Hogan defended that title in that reign. I just figure because at that time they were running, monthly shows at MSG and what have you. So
mm-hmm.
those guys ran busier schedules.
Definitely a lot more than Roman did. That's for
Right. They
sure.
they may not have been on TV all the time, but they were definitely defending that title on the weekends, especially during the territory times where, Madison Square Garden was their home base. I
Yeah,
mean, what territory could claim greatest stadium ever, right? So,
yeah.
and Bruno would defend that almost every weekend. So I'm curious to see how many times all these guys on this top 5 list have defended the title. What would you play that?
I don't even know the number, but it's got to be 10 to 20 times more than Roman. Roman defends it every couple of months. These guys would do it a few times a month. So yeah, it's not even close. We gotta look at the
No.
number, the exact number, but way Bruno and Hogan way more. Like you said, not all the shows were on TV. Now everything's on TV, right? So it would
I think
definitely
the
be a
way
lot higher. Hogan. So,
I think the way they kept Hogan as an attraction is the formula for the attraction at that
mm,
level. Keeping them off TV, not having anything to do, and just kind of randomly showing up and exerting your force. I get it. I understand what they're trying to sell and everything. But at least with Hogan, you got promos, you got tidbits here and there, you got little things that always kind of just kept your appetite. And when you
yeah,
did finally get into that ring and defend the title, it was a moment. It was exciting.
yeah, you're excited to see it.
Where Roman just kind of shows up, once here, there. There's really no promos. There's really nothing to kind of build up. I wish they would do more of that. That's just my.
The thing with Roman Reigns is I like him. He looks good and he's a good wrestler, but he's maybe one of the most boring champions they've ever had. He's just dull. He doesn't have any much personality really. He just he looks good and he works good, but he's just like he needs his whole crew with him. He can't really talk well. I mean, he's dull.
Well, I tell you what,
You
man.
give
I
you give
mean,
Roman the mic by himself and let him talk for 5 minutes, he's going to be lost at sea.
okay, I'll tell you this though, man. I'll be honest. I would have completely agreed with everything you said 3 years ago. But after that Cena feud, where Cena took him to the woodshed, literally took him to the woodshed. And
Mhm.
he's improved leaps and bounds since that
But
time,
he's gotten better, but
right?
he's just not like a superstar character. He's a good worker, but he just does he's not exciting. He's just like, oh, it's Roman, whatever. If he comes out, cool. If he doesn't, whatever. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? He's just like that's how I see it. I just don't see people getting excited about the guy.
yeah. Well, I mean,
He does what he does, but he doesn't have classic matches. He doesn't have a classic promo that I can even think of. It's just like he's there, he wins, he looks good, he works hard, but that's about all I can think of when I think of Roman Reigns,
yeah.
myself at least.
Well, no, you're not far off. I mean, he
Right?
is a top guy. I mean, there's really no
Yeah, I
one
know, I
at
get why he
no,
is.
no,
He looks
but
good.
there is no one there right now at his level. I feel that if you took this guy's mic skills, this guy's ring work, this guy's that, then you'd have the next guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I think he's improved leaps and bounds. He's come a long
Yeah,
way
he's
since
gotten
he
better.
started. So I mean, I don't know what more they're gonna do with him, but like I said, I think AJ's his next feud. I think that's just the way it's gonna play out. He's just gonna kind of come back for the bigger pay-per-views, the bigger names, So you probably see him
Yeah,
fight 4 or 5 times a year. I think before Night of Champions, he is fighting on one house card. So I seem to see the pattern here. He'll do
yeah.
one house show before the pay-per-view.
Just to get like a tune up, get real
Just like
ready
a
for
tune
it.
up. Exactly, right? So he's got a tune up coming up before he goes to Saudi Arabia for this match. Um, with the tag team title match, we didn't even get to that yet, right? So on Monday, it was announced that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will be defending their titles not against the Usos, but Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns. Now, this story is getting more and more interesting now, right? It's kind of fun. Like you're getting both Usos are getting kind of kicked out of this thing here. Who knows, man? Maybe Jey Uso is that guy. And they're building it up to be, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you saw that on SmackDown, the way that Jimmy was kind of acting and Jay had to be the strong one, and they're really getting pushed to the limits here. I don't know what their breaking point is going to be. It's going to be kind
I
of
don't like
curious to
this
see.
tag team match for the simple fact you're having a match that you know Reigns and Solo aren't going to win. They're not going to take the tag team belt, so why have it when you know there's no chance of them winning? So to me, it's a cool story that's building, like you said, but why have the match when there's zero chance they win those belts?
Well, I mean, then again, here
It's
we
just
are.
like it's terrible
Okay,
booking in my book. Like, they're
okay.
giving us matches we know the outcome, right?
Do we though? Like you said earlier, like we talked about
They're not
Brock
going
and
to win the
Cody,
belts.
but
No
you
way.
never know though, right? But how many times, many times, 99 times out of 100, we're always right, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I always like to, err on the side of caution. Why make a match? Like I want to give them the benefit of the doubt as well. There has to be a reason for this match.
Yeah,
I
they're
mean,
building a story, but it's like you want to go into a match where you're not sure what's going to happen. You might most likely going to win. This is like a no brainer here.
no,
This is
no,
the
no, no,
easiest match
no.
to call. They're going to
No.
win Sammy and Kevin, right?
Right, right. They probably will win, but how they win is probably what's going to build up the story. Do the Usos come out and try to lend a hand to help them and, in essence, cost them the match, which makes their situation? Remember, a lot of times matches happen not for the match itself, but to further the storyline, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
but when you
so
got belts on the line and you know there's no chance, it's like what? It's a dud
yeah,
to
but you
me.
know what?
Like if it was with no belts on the line, I would get it.
Dude,
But with the
dude,
belts on the line,
I
you know
don't
it's not.
look at, I don't look at Night of Champions as you know that type of Night of Champions
No, I
card,
know,
so
but
to
why
speak,
book it?
right?
Like they need better
Because
creative
they
minds
got
to
to
think
book
like.
some they got to book something because they can finally get Zayn into the country,
No, I know. I'm not. They can
right?
have a match. Put them against somebody else. You know, Reigns Solo aren't going to win the belt, so why do it? Let them defend the titles, but against another team. I would say because it's not even like we know what's going to happen. Maybe Uso will cost them the match. They'll build the story, but it's like there's no chance of them taking those belts. But to me, it's a dud. Might be a good
Well,
match, but you like to have some sort of mystery, right? And we know what's going to happen. So to me, it takes away from it.
I mean,
How I see
this
it.
no, that's fine, man. But based on your logic and your thinking, my friend, every match on this card is a waste of time because we pretty much know the outcome of all of them,
Well, no,
right?
but this is a guarantee. Like me and Brock could beat Cody, possibly Seth and AJ. You don't know, but this one I can guarantee you, Sammy and Kevin walk out with the belt. So to me, it's like it
Right,
doesn't add
but
any excitement. You know?
no, no, fine. But like I said, though, the match doesn't necessarily have to be the match for that purpose. It could just be there to serve the purpose of that storyline where the Usos, like I said,
Yeah,
next
that's what
day
it's
come
doing.
out.
You're
And
right.
that's all it's going to do, right? Plus, it gives the people the
Yeah,
chance to
but
see
why? To
Roman.
me, it's just a
Why
waste.
isn't
It's just a
it right?
filler.
Well,
To
no,
me,
like, why isn't Roman defending? Right? Like, it's Night of Champions. Roman should be defending.
If I was in charge, he probably would be, but I'm not in charge. But
Right,
to
right,
me,
but
it's
that's what
just
I'm
a filler
saying.
match.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, we're gonna go back and forth on this. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong in terms of what you think of the
It should be
match
an exciting
quality.
match, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like a match where you know what can happen, right?
yeah.
That's me.
No, no, fair play. That's you. And this is the next match we're looking at then. We're looking at the Intercontinental Championship match, Gunther versus Mustafa Ali. I know they want to give Mustafa Ali a push here. This might kind of elevate him to becoming a face now, going up against Gunther.
Yeah,
Gunther, I think, wins.
I think
Um,
so.
but I think Gunther wins. I think Gunther keeps the title, keeps it going. Surprisingly enough, Austin Theory does not have a match on this card yet.
Yeah, interesting. Eh? They given. I'm not sure why, but I guess it's only so many matches they can have. Maybe they'll give
Well,
him one at SmackDown. Maybe we'll
well,
see,
no,
but it's
because
not
I
looking
mean,
like it.
well, think about it. We still have three more matches potentially to be announced for this card, right? We're looking at the Raw Women's Championship, Bianca versus Asuka.
Yeah,
We're looking at a potential match between Rhea Ripley and Natalia, which they've kind of been building slowly, so it won't come to a shock to anyone if they announce these matches next week or
yeah.
on on this Friday SmackDown and Monday coming up, right? Also we have the women tag teams title, as we saw on, was it Raw? Yeah.
Yeah.
Natalia, or sorry, Shayna and Ronda came out, beat the tar out of Raquel. So that could be
Too
potential.
bad Ronda slipped on that kick too. Eh? She lost her footing. That was a bad spot.
I know it happened. So, but I mean, she recovered, right?
Yeah,
So those are three more potential matches. So I mean, in essence, the Universal titles hasn't is not going to be defended, just based on the tag team match, and you're not going to get the US title at the moment, anyways. Anything can change. But
yeah.
there's really nothing he's got going on right now in terms of
Not
anyone. I
really.
mean, and I don't want to see him and Lashley go at it again.
No, they've done that too much. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's gonna have a match. Might throw something together last minute, but as it stands now, I don't think we'll see Austin Theory United champions.
Trish Stratus against Trish Stratus against the man Becky Lynch. Thoughts? I'm actually
Should be
excited for
good.
this match. I think it's gonna be fun,
Yeah, it should be good things. Trish can still go for mid to late 40s. She looks great. Should
right?
be a fun match. She's gonna push Becky. That's for sure.
No, that's gonna
Should be
be fun. I'm
for a
really
good
looking forward
performance.
to it. I don't know how this one's gonna play out, but I think,
This one's hard to call.
well, if I'm booking it, I'm booking it for Trish just to keep the story going.
Yeah,
I mean, unless Trish isn't coming back, then you close it off here. But if there's more to this, then I would kind of guess that it'd be better for Trish to go over. I don't
should
think
be a
it
good match.
hurts. I don't think it hurts Becky in any way. Um, but yeah, that's kind of it,
Yeah,
man. That's Night of
should be good.
Champions. That's what we have for Night of Champions so far. Stories of the week. Stories of the week. What do we have going on here? Uh, da, 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 da. So I have a feeling Seth Rollins' first opponent, first challenger, will be Drew McIntyre.
I sure hope not, but you could be right.
Well, he was drafted to Raw,
Hmm.
and he hasn't been seen since he got pinned by Gunther at Mania.
That's true.
Right? He hasn't been on Raw yet since being drafted to Raw. And I have a feeling that he may become heel Drew or become heel Drew as he feuds with Seth for this title.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm not disagreeing with that. I just hope. No, I don't really want to see that, but yeah, it's looking like it.
Well, I mean, who else would you go up against right now on Raw?
Who, Drew?
No, 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 not Drew. Seth, who would you think? I'm not putting you on the spot, but if Seth does win, who would be the first program? Do you think?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it could be Drew. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they
And to
throw a
be
young guy at him.
And
Maybe.
to be fair, that Drew feud would be very fresh. They have not touched, they have not spoken, they have not been on the same screen. I don't think for at least over a year, if not
Yeah,
longer, man. Right? Their paths have not
I would like to
crossed.
see a young guy go with him, right? Instead of some of the older guys doing it all again. But Yeah, you're probably right. Probably will be Drew.
Well, when we look at the young guys, who are the potential young guys do you see challenging him though?
I would just give the guy a chance. Maybe a guy like Bronson Reed, give him a shot at it. See if it works good. If the program's not going good, Seth can beat him and you can scrap it. Maybe somebody like that. Give the young guy a shot, see what he can do. No, he won't win
Yeah.
the belt, but give him that championship experience. I don't know. He's a little bit early, a little bit young, but I don't know. Just instead of seeing Drew always going for the belt, right? Like Drew's good, but I'd like to see some new faces come up.
Um, Last time he chased the belt was Clash of the Castle. So yeah, I mean it's almost been a year since he's had anything
But
going on that
It's
way.
Drew's safe. You know they're going to produce a good program. I'm not knocking the guy, but
Yeah, yeah.
I like to see something different.
Well, I
Push Seth.
mean,
Let him do Bronson Reed. You don't want to see Brock and Seth again.
no, you're
I
not
mean,
going to see Brock and Seth, but I think that's just a safe feud to start with, and then kind of go from there. Yeah, I love to see Bronson Reed compete for it at one point,
see what he can do.
but again, I like to see just a little bit more of Bronson. Build up your name a little bit more, build up the character, and then go for it. Right? Not necessarily say he's going to win it, but
Yeah.
it's a good start for him in terms of getting a feel for it, getting an understanding of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, definitely. I would love to see that. Um, Potential heel turns happening in the WWE. We didn't really touch on this. The Asuka versus Bianca match, which hasn't been announced yet, but there are rumors and speculation that Bianca may turn heel after this. She might lose actually at Night of Champions. There is talk of putting the strap, taking it off of her after her 400-day plus run. Um, Asuka as champion, I like it. 400 days. What do you think, man? Do you think
I say they should take it
good?
off or let Oscar see what she can do with it. Turn Bianca heel and let's see what she can do. Let's see what kind of
Well,
real talent she has.
I
She
think,
does have a lot of talent, but to do face and heel, it takes special people to be successful at both. Not many can do that.
but here's where I'm going to throw in a wrench to it. I don't think she turns heel alone. I think the Street Profits turn heel as well. So, not saying it's going to happen anytime soon, but I
Yeah.
watch in the next couple of months. I have a feeling. I've been calling for this for a while. I think the Profits are going to turn here, man. The Profits are going to turn because you see them now. They come out and they're there. You see them, but they're not being pushed the way they were being pushed with the backstage segments and everything else. They're just kind of coming out. They're coming to a breaking point. I have a feeling that as faces, they haven't been able to win the titles. They haven't been able to do this and that, and
Yeah.
they're going to get
That'd be
angry.
cool. I'd like to see that.
And so yeah, so that's basically something else that I've been hearing on. Money in the Bank, that's coming up next. The names that I've heard for this match so far: Bobby Lashley, Matt Riddle, the man who does not get punished for anything. Damian Priest and LA Knight are the confirmed names so far that I know of. Cody Rhodes, Gunther, Finn Balor, Chad Gable, and Edge are potentials for the match. So right now we're looking at Bobby Lashley, Matt Riddle, Damian Priest, and LA Knight. Out of those four, who's the most deserving?
It's
I'm
probably
gonna
going to be
go.
Riddle because it's definitely not LA Knight. It's probably going to be Matt Riddle.
I was gonna go LA Knight.
Yeah, maybe.
For me, it's between LA Knight and Matt Riddle, based on those four names.
Yeah, I'd say Matt Riddle, but could be LA Knight.
Right? I mean, okay, so I don't understand. Like nothing. I haven't heard of any repercussions or any kind of discipline handed down to Matt for the social media profile that
It's
he
kind of died off, so I think he's just going to skate free.
lucky guy, eh?
It's
Wow.
all about the media. The media didn't like him. If they see him as a cool hippie stoner guy, they didn't like his personality. They would be dogging him. All these dirt shooters would be dogging him every day, but they don't really write about it anymore. You can go on a wrestling site and not even hear about it right now.
It's kind of funny because
So,
I was watching the Battle Royal on Raw, and I'm watching, I'm thinking, oh my god, how did this guy end up in the like? Do you even make it to the final four of a Battle Royal? They have to have faith in you, right? You don't
yeah.
necessarily have to
Oh
win
yeah.
it, but to get to that final four, like that shot in the ring of all four guys in the corner, those are always killer shots. Those are always killer takes to get. So to be a part of that, that just shows that they still have faith in the guy, right?
Yep.
I'm just waiting for the backlash to come about Mandy Rose, though. Like all these groups that are going to complain that it wasn't fair and she was treated, unfairly and blah blah blah, being let go for having that, and he's okay to do that. That's what I'm
She
waiting
was
for.
let go for OnlyFans.
She was like, it wasn't OnlyFans, it was some other. Like I guess ever since OnlyFans came out, there's been a lot of spin-offs, right?
But
Um,
it's funny, like, yeah, they Manny Rose gets let go, but yet we champion out Mike Tyson on AEW and WWE. We cheer the guy. He's done way worse than Mandy Rhodes has ever done. Mandy Rose has ever done. So it's like, if they like you, the media will let it slide. They don't like you, they'll crush you, pretty much, right?
That's what they do. That's what they
I
do.
feel
I
bad for
mean,
Mandy because she did nothing wrong, right? It's private, it's her own thing. She wasn't hurting anybody.
I don't feel bad for her, man. She's making more money doing what she's doing now than she ever did in the WWE.
No, I know she's making more money, but she loves wrestling, right? She'll probably get to AEW or something here eventually, or Impact will take her. Some people
You know,
get her.
you know what? Everyone comes back at some point, right? I
Exactly.
mean, it is what it is. But to be fair, I think if she had come clean with everything that she was doing,
It was
I'm
how she
sure.
handled it and keeping it secret.
Exactly,
The problem, right?
exactly. Right? Like, I don't know. Like, okay, do you have people that work under you? Are you a supervisor to people?
I am,
Hypothetically,
yeah.
right? Okay, so would you rather want to hear something about your employee directly from your employee opposed to hearing it on the news or social media?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get why they got rid of her. It's crappy how it
Right?
went. You're right.
You know, it's just from that perspective, just kind of like, okay, what are you saying about the company then when the company is also learning about it as everyone else? The company should have already known this, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's like I look at life this way, right? I'm not saying, for myself, I don't have any demons, I don't have any, bad issues. But whatever I enjoy, everything I like, my family knows. So as far as I'm concerned, as long as my family knows, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, sort of a deal. And same in this scenario, as long if you're doing something like this at that level and you're a part of a company that's a juggernaut, you
Yeah.
got to
Juggernaut.
tell them. You just got to tell them,
At that level, yes.
right? Worst comes to worst, what happened is going to happen.
Hmm.
But I think, with Triple H and everything running it, they have a bit more empathy.
He's
They
a little
will.
more younger, a little more hip, a little more cool. He's
Well,
trying to
yeah,
be cool.
he has
Cool
a
boss.
bit more empathy. He has a bit more understanding of how the generation works, right?
However, do you think that what X-Pac did with China in that video is why Vince never gave X-Pac a job back, or what? He lets him come out, but he doesn't employ him.
No, probably,
And he's a
but
bit of a, he's a little different, but like it's just like I think when that video will come out, he'll come out for Raws and stuff, special events, but he's never had a job like Michael's guys have. Maybe it's because of that video.
well, potentially, but I mean,
I
that's
don't know.
the kettle calling the pot black. But I mean,
Yeah,
they're all guilty of their own shit, man. It just, I guess the only thing is when you get caught, that's when you're exposed, right?
stuff
Obviously, I
you
mean,
get
that
fucked.
goes
Yeah.
for that question, right? But none of these
Mm-hmm.
guys are saints. 90% of them aren't. I'm not saying all of them, but 90% of them have skeletons upon skeletons. And a lot of the guys that have all the skeletons are guys from our generation who didn't have
That's what I
cell
was gonna say. The new
phones and
generation's a
social
little more
media,
clean.
right?
They're a
I
little
don't
more
know
clean.
if they're clean. They just got to be more cautious.
Well,
They just got
they
to be
don't
more.
go to the bars and get in fights like they used to and goof around like that anymore.
No, 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 no.
They're on their
Different
laptop
times.
having a
Yeah, yeah,
Starbucks
yeah, yeah,
smoking
yeah,
their
yeah.
weed.
No, different time. And then
Yeah,
we talked about that. That shift in that generation started with Edge and Christian. They never went out partying afterwards, right?
yeah.
They went back to the hotel to read.
Mm-hmm.
And now you got guys like AJ and stuff. Yeah, he's about the same age as Edge and all those guys, but all they want to do is play video games.
Yeah.
Right. So they carry their consoles around, they go back to their hotel and they play video
Which
games.
is great, but I think that kind of appeals to the cool factor. In our day, the guys they go to the bar, they'd fight, they look cool, they'd have the women, they'd be jacked up, muscular, they talk cool, they look cool. Edge and AJ guys are great wrestlers, but they don't look cool, they don't act cool, and I think that hurts the popularity of wrestling. I'm not saying you got to go drink at the bar and be cool, but in our day, like wow, see the
Well,
size of Hogan, you see the size, you know what I mean? It was cool factor. There's no cool
well,
factor anymore.
in our day, up until the infamous curtain call, kayfabe was real.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where faces traveled with faces only, even though your best
Mm-hmm.
friend could have been the heel guy. The heels took one bus, the faces took a separate bus. The heels went to one bar, the faces went to another bar. They could
Yeah,
never mingle together, sort of a deal, right? So I think a lot of it has to do with that from our generation.
yeah,
That sense of realness. And because at that time, portable video games weren't really a thing, you know what I mean? And most of these guys didn't fly, they drove everywhere
yeah,
they went. So it wasn't, and I mean, there wasn't what, 5 stations on TV at the time. So
yeah.
what else did these guys have to do? And the knowledge and everything. I mean, if you think about it, every generation got smarter from the other
Yeah,
generations,
these guys are better to their bodies. They don't do the steroids. They
right?
still do, but not as much. They don't do the pills. They
Right.
don't
But
chase.
if you look at the wrestlers from the 50s, compare them to the 60s wrestlers, those 60 guys were probably in better condition than the 50 guys. And the
Mhm.
70 guy is better than the, you know what I mean? Like you saw everything kind of just evolve to the point now where you don't need a Percocet, you don't need a Valium, you don't need, these drugs and alcohol to take care of your aches and pains. I mean,
Mhm.
they got coaching staffs. It's like every sport now. Training
They're a
camp is
lot smarter now. Absolutely. Yeah.
athletes in general, right? I mean, hockey training camp legitimately was training camp,
Hmm.
right? These guys
Yeah.
would
They're a
come
lot
back.
smarter with their bodies.
Remember Keith the
Definitely.
Truck used to come back like 280 pounds, 260 pounds near the end?
Oh yeah,
And
he's
then
a big dude, man.
right, and then he had to like, and then he came down to like 205 or something, like not healthy, but that was training camp. And in the
Yeah,
70s, man, they played almost how many preseason games in the NFL? It was like a separate season before the season even started,
I know. It's crazy. They definitely
right?
work a lot smarter now and train better.
Well, they train year round, right? And same with the wrestlers. I mean, they're all working hard year round, and just to have the right.
When's the next cool wrestler to come out? I guess John Cena was, well, he was hated too, but he was the last cool guy to come out. We haven't seen a real cool guy that's been a big hit with the kids and teenagers. I don't know who that could be. Maybe a guy on the roster that's young, but right now I don't see it.
Well, I mean, I think the closest I see it right now, once he finishes being a heel and he makes that turn, which I think is going to happen this year at some point, if they're going to put him on that path, is Austin Theory.
Could be Austin, maybe Cody, maybe.
Well, no, we're talking about young and up and coming.
Yeah,
Cody's
super
kind of
young. Yeah,
halfway
Theory, I
through, right?
guess.
Like I mean, it has to be someone. In my opinion, right now, I'm looking, and this could be a shot in the dark, but I look at Braun Breaker, and when he does come up, I have a feeling he could be potentially someone of that stature as well.
Could be.
He has that kind of thing about him, right?
If Bronson Reed had a little more personality, maybe he doesn't have much personality. He's a great worker, but he's a little more charisma. A
Well,
little more.
you know what? When he was a face, he did have a lot more charisma.
Did he?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's just the way he's trying to build the
Maybe
character.
Montez Ford, if you could get, he's got the work. He could work like amazing. Maybe it could be him.
It
He gets a
could
little
be
more
him.
fire on the
It could
stick.
be him. I think, Montez is someone that we could potentially look at as well. But if we're talking about younger talents, I keep going down to look at what's happening at NXT and who's kind of coming up. I do like that Grayson Waller. I think
Yeah,
he's really
same.
fun. I don't know if he has that potential, but I'm kind of locked on Austin Theory, Braun Breaker right now as
So I hope
your.
it's awesome. But
Well, I mean, I
hey,
just
man, they're giving him every chance. He's got the boss man behind him. He's got everybody behind him. So if he can't do it, he's got nobody to blame but himself because they've given him every shot, right?
Well, whether they gave every shot to Roman as well, right? So I mean, it
Oh
took him a little while to figure it
yeah,
out and whatnot. But I just have this feeling that when I look at Theory, he has all the tools that you
he
need,
does.
and he's believable. And that's what I think made Cena work so well. He was normal height, 6'1",
Yep,
6'2", right?
yep,
The average height. I'm 6'1", so maybe an inch and a half taller than I am.
yep,
Realistic body shape for the most part. For the
yeah.
most part. And the message.
Dressed like a regular guy too. Didn't dress crazy. No crazy
No,
gimmick. Seth
no,
Rollins outfits. You could wear John Cena's stuff down the street, kind of thing. He had the
right.
jeans and the shirt.
Right, right. And the
Yeah.
hustle, loyalty, respect, the catchphrases and everything, those are things that you can kind of build off of, right?
Mhm.
I have the feeling when I look at Austin Theory and Braun Breaker, they possess those same kind of qualities.
They do.
Uh, with Braun, I think it's more evident that you could push it that way now. But he's doing an amazing job as a heel right now down on NXT. I'm almost enjoying his heel work more than I'm enjoying his face work right now down there. But yeah,
He'll be up to the big
potentially,
roster soon.
I think he comes up after SummerSlam. I think they kept him down. They were going to bring him up now, but he had just turned heel recently. So keep him down there, build up that heel persona, and bring him up. Kind of as a swerve to someone, whoever Seth is defending against at SummerSlam,
Yeah.
comes out and he kind of costs them the match or whatever the case may be, right? So that's where I kind of see Braun kind of fitting in. But potentially right now, I'd have to say it's between Theory and Braun Breaker, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
Could be.
and who else I really like right now? JD McDonough. Keep an
Yeah, I've
eye
seen
on
him.
him. Keep an eye on
Yeah, I've
that
seen him.
kid. I like him.
Yeah,
That
he's good.
guy, that guy, he's not a sleeper. He's gonna be good.
He's
But
good.
he's another potential
See what happens. He
Guy,
gets to the big show though, right?
he's there.
He came out.
Yeah, he's up. He's starting a feud with Dolph Ziggler. He was a part of that 30-man battle royal.
Oh yeah. You're right. You don't see
And
golf on TV that much anymore either.
well, Dolph's been doing everything. If you think about it, Miz and Dolph are two guys that everyone should listen to. Everybody in that locker room, except the guys of their level or their
Mm-hmm.
age or their tenure, sorry. I think everyone should be listening to those
Well,
two guys.
those guys know how to get along. They know how to keep the boss happy. They know how to do what they're told and keep the money flowing. That's part of the business too, right?
What's a part of the business, but their longevity. We've seen a lot of cuts, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we've questioned some of the people that have been cut, and like, oh my God, how could you have cut that guy, or how could you cut that guy? But you never have ever. I mean, it's obvious, obviously, but you
Yeah,
never even hear the name Mike Mazzani or Dolph Ziggler. You know what I mean? Like you don't hear the Miz or the Dolph ever being mentioned in those conversations.
yeah.
And these are two guys. Well, Dolph had more of an indie background, but Miz is the epitome. I don't know if there's another guy outside of wrestling who can come in the way he did and have the career that he's produced. Two-time Grand champion. I don't think he gets enough credit, man. I'm sorry. I hate to say it, but
He will when he's all said and done. You look back on it, people will give him the credit. It's one of those kind of situations where you don't appreciate it till they're gone, kind of thing.
no, for sure, for sure. All right, man. I tell you what. So we've kind of battered and bantied and chattered and talked about a lot of different things here, but
Yeah,
ultimately, why don't we just see how the rest of the next two shows play out, and we'll make
yeah.
our predictions next week.
Sounds good.
On that note, do you have any top fives or anything you want to throw at me?
I do. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's hear about the top 5 wrestlers that you'd like to interview on our show.
Top five wrestlers that I want to interview on our show. I would love to talk to Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, that's my number one too.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan would be an awesome, awesome interview. I would dead or alive?
Alive. That we could
Alive.
actually do. Yeah.
Okay. Hogan would definitely be one. I want to talk to Triple H.
Are you smart? Good guy.
I think Triple H would be really, really fun to talk to. I would also like to have on our show at some point, if possible. And you may not like it or not, but I would love to have Sami Zayn on.
Yeah, he'd be fun.
I think the conversation, him and Kevin Owens together, I think would be really good. We gotta have some good Canadian
You
content.
can't always interview everyone that you're a huge fan. Sometimes you interview guys that are cool. You just like, yeah, whatever. It's an interview. You don't have to be their biggest fans always either, right?
No, but I love their story. I
Yeah,
love
that'd be
it,
cool.
I'm not basing it on fandom. I'm basing it on,
Stories and stuff.
huh?
Yeah, on like what they could talk about, their stories
Yeah,
from
the
Canada.
stories, like being Canadian guys and stuff like that, just to keep the little Canadian content in there, my man. I mean, what
Yeah,
if the CRTC finds out that we don't have any Canadian content? We can get fucked.
we got Molitor and Cody.
Yeah, we did. We got two so far, right? But
Yeah,
we haven't. I mean, well, I guess
Dan,
we've had some
Dottie.
Canadian. Well, we've had some Canadian wrestlers and
Yeah,
stuff like that too. But um, yeah. So I think just for the Canadian content, I would love to talk to those two guys. Um, MJF would be a really, really fun interview,
yeah.
and CM Punk.
CM Punk.
I think CM Punk would be a
Hopefully he's not
fucking.
grumpy and moody that day.
Well, regardless of what he is, man, I think I would love to. I would love the challenge of talking to someone like him,
Yeah, it'd be fun.
right? That would be the fun. I think that would be the number one for me, just because I think he would probably bring out the biggest challenge for us.
The one thing I'd have to say to him is just being objective, right? I'd have to say, you said when you came to AEW, it was like, what do you say, Hall and Nash or Hogan coming to WCW? And I'm looking at the ratings, Mr. Punk, and they had 7 to 8 times the viewers that you had there. That's a false statement. I have to call him on that. And then he'd get so pissed off and he'd take off. He spends a lot of lies, that guy.
I appreciate it, but if we were to get CM Punk on the show, all I'd ask you to do, my friend, my brother, is save those questions for the last 2 or 3
Oh
minutes
yeah,
of
no, I
the
wouldn't.
episode.
That's something you drop right away. Wait at the very end. He
Right?
might be like, he might like it. He does like a little banter. It's hard to say with the
No,
he's
it'd be
so
fun.
moody and so grumpy and
Well,
so
see, that's what I
miserable.
find so challenging and so interesting about
Yeah,
him. Like easy interviews are fine because they're easy,
yeah.
but interviews like, for example, when we sat down with Jerry, for example,
You don't know
you know,
how that could go.
well, we had to work for it.
Yeah,
We had to steer it, we had to guide it. We literally if you can picture it, we're all three of us are sitting in a rowboat
Mhm.
and we're going against, we're hitting some rapids and he's sitting there with his hands, together while we're trying to, navigate the rapids and he's just kind of bouncing with us. We've had a couple interviews like that.
And who would have thought that'd be our second highest viewed show on YouTube? Never would have.
Ironically enough. Yeah, but I think that's a testament to us as well. Like we're able to kind of wrangle guys in.
But walking out of there, you thought it was good, but it wasn't going to hit like it hit. That's what I thought.
I thought it was good. I thought it was fun. I thought it was good for the fact that it was different. We did something very different. We talked in a wrestling ring. We set it up as such. I mean, for our first go, considering not having any idea of what to expect, what it was going to look like, I mean, you go in there and you see it like, okay, this is how it's going to play out. Bring way too much equipment because you don't know what you're going to use, what you're going to need.
Yeah.
So, now that we have a better idea of it and what we need and what we don't need, I think, things will just get smoother. And as we go here, any wrestlers, anyone listening to the show, if you guys want to, maybe, we can get you guys all together and we can do something in that ring and, with Jerry's blessing, obviously.
Yeah.
We can figure some stuff out there. But yeah, overall, man, I tell you what, we have, I guess outside of the Lomo match, we got nothing going on this weekend then.
Not really, Lomo and Haney, man. The Phil rodeo.
Yeah, we got the rodeo. Carlito's going to be at the rodeo. So if you guys are in Cloverdale this weekend, the Cloverdale rodeo is happening as we are going into the May long weekend this weekend too, Mr. Michaels. Yeah, so a long weekend, the rodeo, Carlito, Lomo and Haney. Looks like a fun weekend here, man.
Yeah, can't wait. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Beautiful weather.
I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it, man. We're in the final stretch of this crazy week. Only Chance knows what I'm talking about here. Yeah. But we're motoring along. Nothing's going to stop us. We can make sure we get this content out to you all. So on that note, my name is Bobby Sampson, joined as always with my man. Is that a Looney Tune shirt?
A what?
Looney Tune shirt.
It's a Michael George's. Actually, my Reigns bought it for me.
Sweet.
Stored on the back. Yeah, it's
very cool.
Just a tank top I wear to the gym or something. But yeah, that's what it is.
The children love it when you wear what they buy you.
Yeah, he said to me always, "Dad, you never wear my shirt."
No, dude, it gives them a sense of happiness, man. It truly does. Like sometimes I'll put on something that little Miss gave me. I may not want to.
Yeah.
But it makes them feel good, right? Yeah. All right, on that note, again, let's try this one more time. My name is Bobby Sampson, joined as always with me, my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels.
In the words of the great AC/DC, those that download, like, subscribe, and share the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you. And in the words of Ed Whalen, in the meantime and in between time, till tomorrow, probably, that's it for Samp&Chance. Everybody have a great rest of your week. We will talk to you soon. Adios, muchachos.